Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Cowboy Wolverine figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And a quick look at the artwork on the side of the box. It is the same on both sides. Let's get this bad boy open, see what's what. Alright, here we go. Logan, aka Wolverine, the only Canadian that consistently dresses like a Texan. I don't know if Hasbro wanted to label this guy Cowboy Logan or Cowboy Wolverine, but it is Wolverine here in his plain clothes. From what I can tell, this seems like just a repaint, redeco of the Ultimate Riders version. Somehow they keep giving us Wolverine figures and changing them up just enough where we go ahead and purchase him once again. And they keep getting better in my opinion. I think this is probably our 10th or 11th Wolverine from Hasbro since they introduced what I think is probably one of their best bucks of all time. We got the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave version with the brown suit. We got that same figure with the redeco and the vintage wave. We got Old Man Logan. We got the Ultimate Riders version. We got the Days of Future Past Wolverine that came with the Sentinel, which I didn't grab actually. We got the Weapon X version. We got the second vintage wave version that you match up with Silver Samurai. We just recently got the X-Force version, and we got the Tiger Stripe, which I should have said before X-Force. I'm trying to do these in order. Right before this guy dropped was the first appearance Wolverine that came in a 2-pack with Hulk. So yeah, if I'm not missing any other versions from Hasbro, this release here makes number 11. His bio on the back of the package reads, Wolverine is a nearly indestructible mutant with a gruff attitude and the formidable fighting skills to back it up. So I'm not going to hold you guys up. I think this figure came out really nice. My only issue is that the claws are really warped out of the package. I did my best to straighten them out and make them look presentable here. I think they added just enough to this figure and changed just enough to warrant another purchase here. This head sculpt that comes attached to him out of the package with the cowboy hat is really cool. The hat is attached to the head. You cannot remove the hat like some of the older Wolverines from the past from Toy Biz. And then he is packed in with some more accessories. So real quick before we swap anything out, just a real close look at this particular head sculpt. Like I said, I like this. I like the little smirk. I like the way his hair looks. But it seems that almost every version of this figure has a little nick right in the front on his hat. I've seen people say that pretty much across the board. That's been an issue. So the claws and that little imperfection on his hat, probably the only two issues that I have. I really do like the black wife beater with the black boots and the jeans. And this looks really good in my opinion. So aside from the two fisted hands with the claws extended, he has two hands that are cupped and open with the claws retracted. These seem to be the same sculpt that we received with the Legendary Riders version. No issue swapping these out. These seem to be a little smaller than the fisted hands though. Hasbro's got to figure out something with these claws. They got to do something that's streamlined and that works across the board and is durable and looks good. But moving along. And correction, I said Legendary Riders, which is Toy Biz. Ultimate Riders is the newer Hasbro releases with bikes and vehicles. Hopefully they'll expand to other vehicles. But anyway, he's packed in with what looks like the Muramasa blade here too, which is a sort of mystical type thing that was forged and can pretty much cut through anything, and it can stop the healing factor of super beings or mutants that have healing factors. In fact, Wolverine had used this at some point in a really good Wolverine story arc or run in which he, spoiler alert, killed Sabretooth at the end. It's been used quite a few times. I think he tried to use it on Romulus as well, which was another interesting arc. In fact, I think Romulus was sort of intertangled in that whole arc with Sabretooth. When Sabretooth went crazy, Wolverine had to put him down basically like a dog. I need to go back and try to actually read some of that stuff. It'd be interesting to see Hasbro take on some of those characters from that run as well. He can hold the blade in either hand without an issue. He can actually hold it with two hands as well, but you're not going to be able to do too much because this upper torso doesn't have the butterfly joints. And then finally, his final accessory is this additional head sculpt where he does not have the hat on and he's sort of screaming. You can see his teeth. This looks very clean. I like this a lot, and hopefully we'll be able to swap this on to the bodies of some past Wolverines. But I think they did a really good job with both head sculpts here. I'm not mad at this at all. And just going over his articulation real quick, it should be noted that there's actually two bucks that they use for Wolverine. There's this one that they use for when he's in plain clothes that doesn't have the butterfly joints, and then there's the one that they use when he's in uniform that is a bit more articulated. But the point is that they got his size and stature right here. You know, he's short and stocky in uniform or out. But the head's on a ball joint. He can look down, he can look up that far, turn left to right. You get a little bit of pivot. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up just about that far. You can do a full 360. Upper bicep swivel. There is a double jointed elbow. It extends obviously more than 90 degrees. You can see it is double jointed, but his bicep is pretty big, so it's not going to go in as deep as it will on some other figures. Swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Decent ab crunch forward, back, waist swivel, T-joint at the pelvis. Leg will come up that far. Split will look like that. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. You get a hinge, a pivot, and a swivel on the foot. So decent articulation regardless. And some quick comparisons with other Wolverines. So like I said, this newer version is pretty much just a redeco of the Ultimate Riders version. You can see the belts are different. He's got the brown belt to match the brown boots on the Ultimate Riders version, and black belt, black boots on this version. The color of his dungarees or his jeans are different. Wife beater is a different color. And one thing that they did add here on the newer version is a little bit of hair right there on his chest. But it looks like they made the hair on his arms a little darker as well. So, you know, just an upgrade altogether as far as the paint is concerned. No problem swapping on the additional heads on this version. So there's the open mouth screaming version on the Ultimate Rider's body. And then there he is with the cowboy hat. And there's the screaming head on the Weapon X body, which looks better because the the Weapon X unmasked head looked really weird. But there it is. On the new body. That looks ridiculous. I really hate the way this head sculpt looks. And there's a look at the difference in claws between the Weapon X version and this new cowboy version. So the Weapon X claws are a little darker. They're closer together. It looks like they're a little shorter as well. I see what they try to do with this version here, but you know, like I said, mine were just a little warped out of the package. And this works too. If you want to take all of this gear off and just have him in his cowboy hat and his underwear, then you can do that. I've seen somebody actually do that in a picture in a group recently. And there's the Wendigo Build-A-Figure Wave version. And again, a difference in claws. You can see how these claws look. Much more durable. They don't really get warped as easily as the other ones. I know some people didn't really like the sort of stylized look of them, but these are probably the best claws that we've had so far because they just withstand pressures. Long gone are the days where you have to worry about whether or not you'll be able to swap heads between the same character, different versions of the same character. So it seems like all the swaps are working without an issue. You may just need to kind of half the head on the neck to make sure it sits right on the body. That works as well. Yeah, it looks like it's working across the board. This one seems to be sitting kind of low, but it works. Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. This is the one I was worried about, though. I did remember right after I said that the Old Man Logan version, the neck peg is a little larger, so you would have to dremel his head out if you wanted to put this head on this body. And I'm not about to go through that. But you know what? Maybe I have one that's actually where the peg is already shaved down. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I did the opposite on one of these bodies. I shaved down the peg instead of dremeling out the head. So yeah, that looks fine. And that looks good too. Nice classic look. Here he is next to some of his shorter buddies. On the left we have the Wendigo Build-A-Figure Wave Nightcrawler. And on the right, we have the Caliban Build-A-Figure Wave Jubilee. And there he is next to the 80th Anniversary Colossus from the Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack on the left. And I do think that Colossus could have been just a smidgen taller. And there he is next to the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Wave Sabretooth on the right, whose head sculpt I really hate. I want them to redo this head sculpt at the very least. If he had a better head sculpt that sat on the neck a little deeper, he would be pretty fire. And maybe some interchangeable hands, but maybe I'm asking for too much. And here he is next to his more expensive counterpart from Mezco on the left. And while I did really enjoy this figure from Mezco, I hate the way the pants look on this figure. I wish they didn't give him mom jeans. I wish that he had more fitted pants similar to the ones that they gave the Street Gomez figure. Mezco version costs you 80, 90 bucks, maybe even more than that now, where for that price you can buy four Wolverines for $20 each. And then on the right is the old Toy Biz. I think this was the Legendary Riders version. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what's wrong with this figure right here. I don't even think this is the proper head for this figure either. I think he had the like smiling face if I'm not mistaken. But you know, back in these days we were trying to swap and do as many different things as we could and trying to figure out the right body. But you can see he's short, but he's really slender and it's just odd. At the time though, this was one of the most sought after figures and probably one of the best during that time. I think that this guy has been messed with though. Something's wrong with the hair on those arms. I don't know if the hair was like that or if that was painted on. I don't know. I've got so many different versions of these Toy Biz Wolverines. Speaking of which, I'm going to be digging in the crates a little bit this week and doing some comparisons with old Toy Biz figures and showing you everything that led up to what would now be the best version from Hasbro. So I'll be going over some things of the past, all of the Hulks that I've had, and quite a few other things. So stay tuned for that. And real quick before I get out of here, a couple of custom options. This is the May Shelf Old Man Logan version. Now the head doesn't pop on there, but it sits on there okay. It looks okay from the front at least. And there's the May Shelf cigar smoking version. The head does pop on there, but it looks really bad from behind there. And it's a little small for this body, but you can finagle it, you can finesse it, it works. Alright, I'm getting out of here. I got other things I need to get to. This is one that I would definitely recommend that you pick up. For 20 bucks, you can't really go wrong. Like I always say, there's nothing like a Marvel Legend. You know, you can bend and pose and kit bash and do things and you don't feel cheated out of 20 bucks. In fact, you feel rewarded. You feel good for your 20 bucks, you know. This may be exclusive to GameStop. Don't quote me on that. Let me know in the comments below. This was sent to me, so shout out to my man Pendelos Muertos for hooking me up with this. And yeah, that's that. Thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.